I still remember the way the cold crept under the collar of the MEM 1943 field jacket, no matter how tightly you pulled it. Cold in the Ardennes was a living thing. It bit, it gnawed, it settled deep into your bones like an infection. My name is Private First Class William Carter, 26th Infantry Regiment, 1st Infantry Division, U.S. Army. What I'm about to tell you happened between December 16th, 1944, and the first weeks of January, during what the world would later know as the Battle of the Bulge, Hitler's last great gamble on the Western Front. Back then, we didn't know we were part of anything historic. We were just trying not to die. 16 December 1944, near Bulge, Belgium. The first thing I heard wasn't artillery. It was the sky tearing open. At 5:30, German 88mm guns started pounding our positions. The ground shook like an earthquake. Trees snapped like matchsticks. Snow burst upward in plumes taller than trucks. We'd been told the Germans were finished, that they had no fuel, no reserves. Whoever wrote that report hadn't met Sepp Dietrich's 6th SS Panzer Army. I crawled out of my foxhole, boots cracking the ice beneath them, and saw the horizon glowing orange like sunrise. Only it wasn't sunrise. It was hell coming alive. "Christ, they're hitting the whole line," Sergeant Hale shouted. He was from Kansas, older, with a calm voice I trusted more than God. For 30 minutes, the shelling never stopped. Then came engines, Panzer Foos and Panthers rolling through the forest roads. The Ardennes was supposed to be impenetrable to tanks. We learned quickly that nothing was impenetrable when the enemy was desperate enough. We opened fire with M1 Garands and BARs, but against steel hulls we might as well have been throwing stones. The 57mm AT gun beside us fired one round before a Panther turret turned and erased it, and the crew, in a flash of white-hot metal. I remember the smell: burning rubber, diesel, pine trees shredded by shrapnel. War has its own perfume, unforgettable and sickening. By noon, our regiment was falling back toward Bütgenbach, fighting for every yard. 20 to 22 December 1944. We dug in around Bütgenbach, like animals burrowing into frozen earth. Picks bounced off the ground like hitting concrete. Eventually, we used TNT to loosen the soil for foxholes. I shared mine with Corporal Dean Oswald. Ozzy. He kept a photograph of his wife pinned inside his helmet liner. Sometimes at night, he'd whisper to it, as if she could hear him across the ocean. On the 20th, the 12th, SS Panzer Division Hitlerjugend attacked us at dawn. I saw their silhouettes emerging from the tree line, black shapes moving like ghosts in the mist. Suddenly, MG-42 fire ripped the air apart, its distinctive buzzsaw sound faster than anything our Brownings could spit back. We returned fire, the recoil of the Garand slamming into my shoulder until it went numb. A Tiger tank crawled forward, shrugging off everything our bazookas threw at it. The earth trembled with each shot from its 88mm gun. One round hit a farmhouse where a squad from our company sheltered. The entire structure collapsed like a house of cards. Men screamed for medics, but the medics had their hands full, crawling through snow darkened by blood. For 2 days, the Germans kept attacking. For 2 days, we kept pushing them back. On the night of the 22nd, when the firing finally stopped, Hale just sat in the snow staring at nothing. He'd lost 8 men. I'd lost Ozzy. A mortar round found our foxhole while he was writing a letter home. I dug him out with my bare hands, but he was already gone. Christmas 1944. Elsenborn Ridge. We were redeployed to hold Elsenborn Ridge, the last defensible high ground between the Germans and the Meuse River. The temperature dropped to -20 degrees Celsius, -4 degrees Fahrenheit. Rifles froze. Coffee froze. Men froze. I saw more casualties from frostbite than from bullets. We stuffed newspapers and spare socks into our boots. We rubbed Vaseline on our faces to stop the skin from cracking open. I remember Christmas Eve best, not because of any celebration. There wasn't one. But because the sky finally cleared. Thousands of Allied aircraft roared overhead. P-47 Thunderbolts, P-51 Mustangs, B-26 Marauders. For the first time in days, we felt something like hope. "Sky's ours again," Hale said, exhaling steam into the air. "About damn time." The bombers hammered German supply columns trapped on narrow forest roads. Fuel shortages strangled the offensive. We heard explosions echoing through the valleys all night. The Bulge had reached its peak, but it wouldn't last. January 1945, near Wimes, Belgium. In early January, we pushed forward again. The Germans were retreating now, but retreating Germans were still deadly Germans. Many fought to the last bullet, convinced surrender meant execution or worse. We advanced through forests where trees were cut in half by shellfire. Snow was stained brown and red. Abandoned Panzer Force lay half buried in the drifts, their hatches open like gaping mouths. On January 8th, during a sweep near Wimes, we stumbled upon a farmhouse. Inside were 3 Waffen SS soldiers, too wounded to escape. One of them couldn't have been older than 17. He looked at us with pale blue eyes full of fear and exhaustion. Hale lowered his weapon first. "They're out of the fight," he said. We bandaged their wounds and called medics. None of us had the stomach to finish off children. That night, as we ate cold K rations, Hale said, "I don't think anyone wins a war. We just lose slower." By mid-January, the Bulge was shrinking. By the 25th, the front lines returned almost to where they'd been a month earlier. But we weren't the same men anymore.